everyone, welcome back to the 1975 Chevy C10 build. Today we'll be hopefully fixing up the brakes, and as y'all might know, these brakes been giving us a ton of problems. The whole mechanism between leaking and just not working in general has been really terrible for us. So hopefully we'll fix it all up. So what the brakes are doing is that the back brakes are engaging before the front brakes. So some people say that that is actually ideal for these kind of trucks. However, in our situation, when the back tires engage before the front, they like to lock up, which could be dangerous, and it also causes the tires to wear down a whole lot faster than they should be. Technically, we need to fix that. We fixed up all the components in the drum brakes, so all that should be working. We cleaned them off. We cleaned off the front calipers and the drums. I found the problem. So this distribution valve down here, we think that the brake fluid's not allowing enough fluid to go up to the front disc brakes, and it's pushing all the brake fluid to the back, causing the back brakes to engage way before the front, causing it to lock up. We're going to try to delete this and just run a straight line to the brakes and connect them up, and so that should help the problem. I didn't get to record it, but last night we actually put some PB Blaster on these hinges right here, so now the hood comes down a whole lot easier, and it goes up a whole lot easier as well. So we've been on vacation for the past week. Now it's time to get back into the build and start up working again. So I'm excited, and it should be a pretty difficult task, but I believe we can do it. So let's get into the build and let's get the ball rolling. So this T and this 5/6 tube is not the correct sizes that we need. We're trying to figure it out. We might have to end up going to the store, return these and getting the size that we actually need. So let's get into that. Finally back from the parts store. I wasn't able to film any of it, of course, you know how it is. But I do believe that we'll be able to fix the brake lines with this. It took a lot of time to figure out all these parts. And here is the receipt. And the whole thing costed $21. So that's actually not that bad. We returned and not only got $5 back, but then we got we got a brake adapter, we got a T plug and all that kind of stuff, so that should help. So we just made it back home from the parts store, and now it's time to put it together. So hopefully we can bypass the distributor valve, and well, if it works, it works. So let's see. Now it's time for us to bleed the brakes after we finish running the brake line directly to the brakes. They're all the way down to the floor. So we just got the front two brakes bled. Now it's time to move on to the back. So far everything's looking fine, but we never know until we actually go and test them out for ourselves. Yeah. Ton of air in the lines. Round two. Oh, yeah, I felt that, and it went to the ground that time. Alrighty. Round three. Keep going until it's all out. Round five. Make sure the vacuum seal is on. Vacuum hose. He's testing out the brakes. They feel good? They working properly now? Oh! It wasn't? Something's leaking right there. Something's leaking. Well, let's try her again. It looks like they're doing pretty good. Dang, there's a ton of traffic out here. Woo! Hear that thing rumbling? Okay. Yeah, it's better than it was. It ain't locking up. Woo! I smell that rubber burning. Or is that the clutch? Whatever it is, it smells pretty good. We might need new tires. That was insane.
It's reversed.
Started right there. Went all the way over there. You can see the smoke coming out and everything. Literally crazy. Smoke came out. Man, that was fun. Well, guys, we finally got the brakes fixed after long hours of working and ton of trial and error. We finally got the brakes fixed, and the main problem was the distribution valve, and we finally took that out, and it works flawlessly. So if you ever have problems with the pin sticking out every time you press the brake pedal on the distribution valve, you could just delete it, use some adapters and connect the wires and the brake lines together, and it should fix the problem right up, because you really can't buy any newer distribution valves for these model trucks, so you can't buy them. You can buy them used, but we had the same problem. So we just ran straight lines all the way, bled them a couple times, and it works. I mean, they're a little more spongy than how I would prefer them, but they work, and that's all that matters. So now that we got the functionality of the truck completely finished, we got the brakes finished, we got the engine fixed, and there's a Corvette driving by. But we actually got the engines to stop knocking. Everything functions perfectly on this truck. You could drive it anywhere at this point. Now, all we need to do now is just do the cosmetic issues, which is getting all the rust out, primer and paint and sanding and all that stuff. It could get repetitive, but that's the next steps until the truck is finished, and that is the longest part of this session, because it only took us 4 months to fix the engine and the brakes and everything. So the only thing left, I say, is a steering gearbox, which isn't really that bad because it's just leaking some steering fluid. We could just fix that easily, which we had to figure out what to fix it with. It's just leaking near where the thing connects. Other than that, this truck functions perfectly. Only thing we have to do is just fill up the steering fluid every once in a while, but that's no problem. It doesn't even leak that much. We finally are going to start work on the tailgate. I took it off and it already looks like it's been primered before with this black paint, but it seems like somebody primered it and was going to paint it, but they didn't get all these dents out. So we're going to take it upon ourselves to get these dents out, sand it, probably use a tiny bit of filler and paint over it with primer. Probably have to use some PB Blaster. Yeah. So we can't really get that screw out because we just stripped it. We used PB Blaster and everything. So we're probably going to have to go to Lowe's and Home Depot to get it ease out. And hopefully that would work, because these, if you strip the screw, these are hard and terrible to get out. We even tried one of those screwdrivers that you hit, but that still didn't work. These are half the price as well. We got that for $9.98. Yeah. We're looking for some scrap metal to use on the truck, but we went to Lowe's. They were too expensive. And then we went to Home Depot, which that's where we got the piece right there. But however, they're still quite expensive. Just made it back from Lowe's and got some sheet metal, and we also got some drill bits to help get the stripped screws out of the tailgate. And we also got a few things. So let's get into the work. Drills just ain't cutting it. They're too weak, so we're just going to get a plug-in drill so it'll be more powerful. Hopefully this would work this time. That's cutting through it even more. It didn't work, so we're going to have to cut it off or grind it, and then hopefully we can take the piece out of the handle and then just put a new screw in there afterwards. So that's what we're going to do. Cut it right out. Okay guys, so now it's time to clean off the tailgate and get her sanded. I use degreaser and water, and I make sure all the paint is scrubbed off. Now it's time to move to sanding, so I'm going to start out with a 60 grit sandpaper with an electric sander. Going to go across and just sand it down, and all for the little crevices and stuff I'm going to hand sand it. And for the sides here, I'm going to use a wired brush on a drill. I'm going to drill it all the way over here, but I'm going to wait for this to dry when I go ahead and sand down this part. So let's get into that. We went over it with some rust prevention paint. It ain't too much of a big deal. We're going to have to resand everything down anyway, but we do not want the metal to rust, the bare metal. So we just painted over it with for temporary. So maybe in the next episode, I'll be able to finish this tailgate up. I'll be able to sand it down. This side, I'm going to have to get all the paint off. Then I'm going to have to primer it. And wash it off. We're just gonna wash it off. But the back side, we just gotta scuff it up and then put bed liner on it, which is gonna be down the road. So we got a ton of work still ahead of us. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We finally got a ton of work done. We are starting on the body work, and we have fixed the brakes. We need to bleed them again, but I'm going to do those in between episodes. And I think I'm going to leave it off here for this episode. So I'm going to see what we're going to have to do next. And I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one.